everyone, this is Alice from the Alice Edit. Today we will be doing a beauty empties video. I love these videos because it's so satisfying to watch people show off what they've used up. If you have a lot of product, sometimes a struggle to use things up. And also I'm taking this opportunity to do tiny reviews for you. I've decided that for this channel, I don't want to focus too much on product, but I do want to make sure I give you information and kind of reflections on my shopping habits. So I'm going to do that through Empties videos. So this is my basket of Empties, mistakes, and lessons learned. I'm going to be sharing that with you today. So I'm going to bring a little bit more structure to my Empties videos. I'm going to give a 5-star rating, 5 being an excellent product. And I'm going to tell you whether or not I've repurchased this item. For the products I mentioned, I will put them in the description box. If there's no link, then it's probably a dead product, so don't waste your time. Without further ado, let's get started. For the hair care category, we're going to start with the Verb Dry Shampoo. This one is for blonde hair. I love this product. It works really well for me. It's a very fine powder. So I do recommend it, and this is my, I don't know, like 3rd, maybe 4th or 5th bottle that I've ever used. That said, I have not repurchased this because of kind of the packaging of this particular thing. Now that I have found a Briogeo dry shampoo where it's not an aerosol packaging, I think I will prefer that. This dry shampoo is very effective and makes my hair feel very soft afterwards. Next, we have the Ghost Hair Conditioner from Verb. This is a very simple product, very solid conditioner. I like the ingredient list, I like the scent. Nothing bad to say about it. I will repurchase it, and I have repurchased it. I have very fine hair, and this conditioner doesn't weigh my hair down. So although you can't tell, my hair actually has been bleached to a number 10, so like blonde, and then brought back down to ash gray. Most of that is cut off, but because of that bleaching process, my ends are actually quite damaged. So I do have quite a few hair treatment empties. Starting with 2 of these Philip Kingsley elasticizers in different scents. I finished the Geranium and Neroli as well as the Rose and Lychee. I have also repurchased the regular Philip Kingsley without a special scent. I do really like this product because I find it very effective for my hair. It does soften it. That said, it doesn't do miracles, and it is quite pricey. I will continue to repurchase it because I haven't found anything better where I like more personally. But if price is a consideration and you don't have very damaged hair, I don't know if I could recommend that product. Then I have the Moroccan Oil Restorative Hair Mask. This was a pleasant hair mask. I think I would repurchase it, but I haven't, just because I'm trying other things. I like the ingredient list. The scent is quite pleasant. It is quite heavy, so you don't need that much if you have very fine hair. I have a sample size of the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Conditioning Mask. I have had the full size multiple times in the past just because it was so hyped. To be honest, good hair masks are quite interchangeable for me, so I haven't felt the need to repurchase this when I could try something new and maybe find one that I like even more. Then I have this Kristen S Dry Finish Working Texture Spray, and I've only bought the sample size because I haven't used texturizing sprays before. In fact, I don't actually use that much styling hair products before I started curling my hair, and I wanted to try something that was similar to the Orbe Dry Texturizing Spray and helps me add a little bit of volume and hold the curls, because my hair does not like to hold curls. I like the scent of this product. I like that this is very accessible. You could buy it at Target, and I think that it's effective in what it advertises to do, which is to add texture and give it a little bit of hold. I don't know if I would repurchase this because I don't know if this is absolutely necessary. Moving on to the skincare categories, which is my biggest category because these are items I use every day. Starting with cleansing products, I have a Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. I have purchased several of these in the past, and I will continue to repurchase it. 5 stars from me. The price is acceptable for a cleansing balm. I wouldn't say that it's super cheap, but I think it's reasonable just because you don't need that much to take off your makeup and compared to even options in the drugstore, I think it makes more sense to just go for this. That's fragrance-free, no fuss, and effective. Another cleanser is the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Medicated Gel Cleanser with 2% salicylic acid. I do really like this product. I don't know how effective it is just because salicylic acid hasn't been a miracle product for me in the past. I have not repurchased this product because I am using benzoyl peroxide in my routine as well as a retinoid at night, and I do want to keep things a little bit more simple, so I'm going to hold off from now, but I think there is nothing bad for me to say about this particular product except maybe of the minty sensation that I get, but not too concerned because it's a cleansing product and it just rinses off. I finished a Hada Labo Gokujun Toner Essence Serum. I'll put the exact name below. I really like this product. It's fragrance free, it's no fuss. I find the texture quite pleasing and it sinks into my skin really well. And it adds some hydration that I could actually feel. I would repurchase this product. I have not repurchased yet just because it's not super accessible, and I do want to try to get the bigger refill bags that they have. Maybe next time I go back to Asia. Then 2 of these Drunk Elephant B-Hydra Intensive Hydration Serum. To me, this is essentially the same function as the Hada Labo Essence because it's a hydrating serum, but this is so much more expensive, and this wasn't something that I intentionally purchased. It came with the retinoid that I use. So the product itself isn't bad, it's just for the price point I think you could do better, and also this is very kind of excessive in terms of the packaging with like the pump and everything, so I would pass. For moisturizers, I finished the Vino Calm and Restore for Sensitive Skin Oat Gel Moisturizer and the Ultra Repair Cream Intense Hydration Skin Protectant. This product I have repurchased in the past and I am using now, so I have repurchased this product. Very no fuss, effective, very hydrating. I have oily skin and I don't feel that it's overly hydrating for me. It's multifunctional as well when my hands were really distressed and chapped, and clearly my skin barrier was compromised. I used this product and also Vaseline on top of it, and it was great. I think it's also reasonably priced, especially in this big size, and the packaging is just very simple. For the Vino moisturizer, it was fine. It kind of felt like I was putting oat slurry on my face because it smelled like oatmeal, which is exactly what it's made out of. It was from the drugstore, so I was able to purchase it with some discounts and coupons, but I would not repurchase this just because I have something that's even more economical and I like the texture a little bit better. And what I really don't like is this packaging because it comes in this like dual layer packaging where it's plastic inside and outside, different types of plastic, which I would assume would make it harder to recycle. And it doesn't come in a big tub like this. So if I'm going through this every like 2 months, that's a lot of waste that I'm generating. So I'm gonna take a star off for the packaging itself. But overall, the product itself is not bad. So for skin treatments, I have the travel size of the Lotus Youth Preserve Rescue Mask Seaweed Radiance Facial from Fresh. I would not repurchase this just because it's a little bit too abrasive for my skin. It does have tiny little particles and tea leaf bits in there. It smells quite nice. The texture is quite nice. However, I just don't feel like my particular skin needs that kind of physical exfoliation. It is also on the pricier side, and I don't think my skin can take that extra irritation, especially given the actives I have right now in my routine. And that's the same story for the Origins Modern Friction Nature's Gentle Dermabrasion. This is also another exfoliating treatment, and it does have actual tiny particles, maybe not as abrasive as something like a walnut scrub, but still like pretty significant. It also is quite gummy and thick in texture. It does kind of foam up a little bit if you add a little bit of water. but my face just did not like it. It had that like lemony scent, which makes me think that there's probably some added citrus ingredients that doesn't need to be there, and that was just too much for my face. So I ended up using this tiny little thing up in the shower on my body and would not repurchase, in case that wasn't clear. Here I have the Peach Slices Acne Spot Dots. These are acne dots that you put on pimples that are very close to the surface. I've been using products like this for years and years, and this particular one happens to be quite accessible to me and easy to get. I could go into CVS and buy these, usually 2 for $8. Product itself is nice, I think, based on my options in the market in the US. It's reasonably priced. I think it is effective. What I don't like is this packaging. So this particular packaging comes with 30 patches in 3 sizes, and it has not only this particular bag, it also has like a little pouch, like a clear plastic, in addition to the sheet that the dots are on. So having those 2 layers and knowing that this isn't really that recyclable, and to be honest, I wouldn't know how to reuse this as well. Just feels a bit wasteful, especially considering this is a product that I repurchase frequently. I would prefer if they came in bulk sizes where there are multiple sheets in one of these things, or if they changed the packaging to be something else instead of these non-recyclable sleeves. The next product I have is the Essence UV Sunscreen Mild Milk for Sensitive Skin, SPF 35 PA+++ from Anessa, which is part of the Shiseido group, I believe. I like this sunscreen. It feels like almost like a silicone primer on my face a little bit, with like a little bit of oil. So you do feel it on your skin, but I don't find it irritating. It doesn't really sting my skin. I feel that it's fine around my eyes. I believe this product is fragrance free. I have not repurchased this, but I would repurchase this. For the skincare category, my lesson learned is that it's always better to buy no frills staple products that come in a slightly bigger size. So something like the Ultra Repair Cream, this is the larger size, and I think it's more economical, first of all, because I use this a lot. It's multi-purpose and the packaging is relatively simple. Or alternatively, you could get something like this, where the manufacturer actually produces refill packs. So even though there is excess packaging coming in, it is less environmentally damaging than having to buy multiple bottles of this. I think this also comes in a bigger size as well. I just haven't had the chance to pick it up. I've also noticed that over the years, I've become more and more of a habitual buyer. So if a product works for me and it's relatively no frills, for example, the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm, I would buy it over and over and over again. And whenever I stray away, I tend to go back to this product. So now I have learned to not stray away and just continue buying this. This also helps me manage my purchases a little bit more, because I know that if I buy a product like this, I will use up the whole thing, meaning I could plan my purchases to pick them up during discounts or buy them in bulk to get a discount and not have to worry about clutter and having things go bad. Moving on to the more interesting category, which is makeup. I have been using skinny eyebrow pencils for years and years and years because that's been my go-to eyebrow product. I have here 2 L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer Ultra Fine Tip Shaping Pencil, which is really just one of those skinny pencils with the spoolie on the end. This is a very good product. I feel like the dark brunette color was ashy enough and it wasn't too warm like a lot of the formulas that I see on the drugstore. The formula itself is a little bit softer than I would like. I prefer the Anastasia Beverly Hills formula in terms of use. I find that for this particular eyebrow pencil, after I brush it, a lot of the product comes off of my eyebrow and then onto the spoolie, and I think that's not because the product doesn't stay on my eyebrows. It's mostly because the product is so soft that more gets deposited into my eyebrows. But overall, very good. And since this is quite affordable and from the drugstore, and I know this is a staple, I could purchase this in bulk and usually get some discounts. So it makes sense from an economic standpoint. For reference, my eyebrow color in Anastasia Beverly Hills is ebony. So the dark brunette is actually a pretty good match for that. I would repurchase this, and I have repurchased this. For mascara, I have the Bambi Eye Mascara in Waterproof from L'Oreal. This is a rubber bristle mascara, which I don't like. I would not repurchase this. The mascara itself is fine. It's a little bit more of a lengthening, kind of separated look, as opposed to a more voluminous, fluffy look, which I prefer. I finally finished my Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. This looks like the sample size, but I actually had the full size and put it into this container because I used to travel. Very solid product. I would recommend it. It's very mattifying. I feel like it's quite fine in texture. That said, I do have another setting powder that's loose and translucent that I prefer, which is the Chanel setting powder. The last makeup product I have for you is the Lancome Absolu Lacquer in the color 236, which I believe is called Pour Toujours, which is for everyday. And that was exactly why I bought this. It was to be a lip color for every day, for going to work, for running errands and things like that. Beautiful color. I didn't like the texture, and that is just a personal preference from my side. I don't particularly like glosses because it feels a little bit sticky. My hair gets caught in my gloss. So I would not repurchase this. Additionally, I can't use a gloss comfortably as a blush like I do with my other lipsticks. So it just limits the use of this particular product. I would give it a high rating just because it is as advertised, but I would not repurchase this. Biggest lesson learned for me in the makeup category is don't buy things that you know you won't like. Even though it's marketed differently or is appealing, just stay away from categories of things that you have bad experiences with. For example, glosses. I know I don't like glosses. The color was just really pretty, so I got it. But at the end of the day, I don't like glosses, so this didn't really work out for me. Same thing with mascara. I knew that I don't like rubber bristle mascaras. I have tried many in the past and always prefer the fiber bristles. I also knew that I didn't like lengthening mascaras as much as I like fluffier, voluminous mascaras. Yet, I still decided to buy this because I saw a YouTuber talking about it and how it made her lashes look pretty and long, which it did make my lashes look pretty and long, but I don't like that look as much as I like the voluminous look. Another important part of this Empties video is kind of looking at the amount of waste that I have from these products. So just to show you what I have on my table with all of these things laid out, this is just a lot of packaging, and a lot of these things can't be recycled. So for example, pumps are notoriously difficult to recycle. If you put something like this that is a little bit more complex in your municipal recycling bin, I don't think that the recycling facilities will know what to do with it, and what ends up happening is that products like this just go into the landfill. And even things like plastics, like softer plastics like this, colored plastic, or glass, and even glass in special colors, those are quite difficult to recycle for most recycling companies. So the only solution that I really have come across that I think will work for me and is quite accessible for me is go to a store that works with TerraCycle. For example, I go to my nearest L'Occitane en Provence to drop off these items. They do have a collection bin in their stores, and if you do drop off your recyclables, you get a discount for a full price product for I think like 10% or something. But it's a pretty easy way for a consumer to dispose of these products in a relatively responsible manner. That said, it's still not a perfect solution. I still think it's taking quite a bit of the responsibility away from me as I make my purchasing decisions, because I don't actually know what happens to some of these things. For example, if I put this in the TerraCycle bin, how do I know that this actually gets recycled? or is this just going to the landfill? I could hope that like this gets broken down into different components, it gets recycled, but I don't know that. So I'm not actually taking full responsibility for the waste that I am creating with products that have very complex components. What I want to know is if you have any solutions for this problem of the waste that we create with our beauty products. Please like this video, let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, I hope you subscribe and come back and see more videos from me. Thank you, and I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I